Hi everyone! With the next Fields of Mystria update coming on March 10th and the information that Caldarus is finally going to be appearing outside of just his statue form in this update, I thought I would make another video following up on some of my theories about him. I made a theory video about 5 months ago and I've gotten a lot of really good feedback about it, and we had some really great discussions in the comment section. I still stand by most of what I said there. Some things have slightly changed and I have had some new ideas since then. Now that video focuses on the identities of the 2 secret marriage candidates, but in this video I'm going to be honing in on Caldarus himself, so how we're going to free him from the statue, why he doesn't have his memories or magic, and how he fits into the larger lore of the world. If you have the time and the desire, I definitely recommend going back and watching that original lore video. There is going to be some overlap in what I say there because I think a lot of those points are still relevant when we're talking about Caldarus specifically, but this time we're going to be looking at all of those pieces through the lens specifically of who Caldarus is, what happened to him, etc. So buckle up, here we go. Okay, so for some obligatory Caldarus backstory, he is a statue of a dragon that you find on your farm, and he's also going to be romanceable, which is all but completely confirmed. He has a heart next to his name like the other romanceable characters, and the developers have teased the romance. In response to Polygon reaching out to the developers to ask questions about Caldarus's romance, they didn't get any specific answers back, but they did get this image sent to them, which is a little tease that is so delicious. So anyways, you find the statue, and after that he sort of wakes up from this sleep state and he introduces himself to you as the guardian of Mystria. Now the interesting thing about Caldarus, and one of the most intriguing mysteries of the game to me, is the fact that Caldarus has lost both his magic and a lot of his memories. He says, quote, "I have been asleep since I can't seem to remember," and he tells you that his mind is shrouded by fog. So he's lost his power and his memories, but he doesn't remember who or why or when exactly this happened. We learn a little bit more about his story as we progress our way through the mines. So in the mines, when we first walk in, we encounter another different dragon statue and a dragon priestess who encourages us to continue our way through the mines and break the seals, which are every 20 levels. There are quest lines and things that you have to donate in order to break the seal. And every time you break a seal, Caldarus gets a little bit more power and more of his memories start to come back. So he says that in order to fully restore his power, we will need to break 5 seals. Now currently there are only 2 available in the game because it's still in early access, and the 3rd one is going to be available in the update on March 10th, which I think is the quest line that is going to tie into Caldarus appearing. We're going to talk about that 2nd dragon in just a minute because I think it is very important for Caldarus's story, but first I'm going to talk about how I think Caldarus is going to finally appear. Now my previous theory was that once all 5 seals were broken, at that point the mine storyline would be complete, Caldarus would regain his strength and then be fully friendable and romanceable with his new corporeal form. That theory I think has been slightly debunked, at least certain aspects of it, because the notes of this update, like I said earlier, indicate that only the fire seal, the 3rd seal, is going to be added to the game, and he'll appear after that. So I'm guessing what's going to happen is that with the 3rd seal being broken, he will then get enough power to appear. Even though it says Caldarus appears, we don't know that this means that he is going to be fully integrated as a regular NPC and will then be fully befriendable and romanceable. Appears could be literally appears once and then goes away. So maybe the 3rd seal gives him the strength to appear in front of us for a time, but he won't be fully romanceable for later. We'll just have to see what happens. Either way, I am so excited to see him, and I am so excited at the little glimpse we got of him. He looks so good, just as I imagined him looking. The little glimpse that we got was the full dragon plus his humanish form, which has horns and a tail, which I was not expecting, but I am very happy to see. Okay, next I'm going to theorize a little bit about his lore and backstory, particularly what happened to make him lose his power and his memories. This will build upon my previous theories, which I will briefly recap. To set up my theory, we need to talk about the other dragon and some of the pieces of evidence related to Caldarus and the other dragon. This other dragon is the one in the mines. So there is another statue there that is not of Caldarus, and interestingly, when you find it with Island, he says he has no memory of it and he doesn't know who it is. It's really interesting to me that Island seems to know all about Caldarus, but he doesn't know anything about this other dragon, and there is further evidence to indicate that that particular dragon has been forgotten over time. There are 2 dragon statuettes that you can find with the archaeology skill and donate to the museum. The first one is the statuette of Caldarus, which is part of the Caldosian category. The description of this artifact says that there seems to have been a subset of the empire that once worshipped Caldarus. So Caldarus has his statuette, but there is another statuette that is part of the Upart category. Now, Upart means out of place artifact. According to Wikipedia, an Upart is an artifact of historical, archaeological, or paleontological interest, and this is the important part here, okay, which someone claims to challenge conventional historical chronology by its presence and context. So at its best, an Upart is an object that you don't really know where it fits into the chronology of history, and at worst, it's something that directly challenges what we know about history. So it's really interesting to me that this unknown dragon statuette is in that category. The description of this statuette is an uncommon artifact. This doesn't appear to be Caldarus. Now, I have reason to believe that this unknown dragon statuette is the same dragon as the one in the mines. It's mostly based on its appearance. If you want my full breakdown of that, go see my previous video. It would make sense. They don't know who this dragon is. They don't know who that dragon is. Another thing that I want to mention briefly is that we do know the name of the dragon/dragon priestess. There is debate about whether the dragon and the priestess are separate entities or if they are actually the same, or like the dragon is masquerading as the dragon priestess. Either way, we do know the name of this character, and her name is Ceridia. According to game files, Caldarus's hated gift is the unknown dragon statuette, and the dragon priestess that we encountered in the mines, her hated gift is Caldarus's statuette. To me, this makes it very clear that the two dragons don't like each other, are rivals, or even are enemies. I think that each of these dragons was a deity, if you will, over a certain section of the earth. So Caldarus was a deity in charge of the overworld, everything that was on the surface of the earth. Okay, think of farming, fishing, livestock, human activities like crafting, whereas this other dragon, Ceridia, was the deity in charge of everything that happened below the surface, so the combat and the mining. And I don't really know what the nature of that conflict may be, but those differing domains, I guess, could be a source of the conflict. So we have all these pieces of evidence. Now let me tie them together, and I'm going to tell you what I think happened, okay? I'm putting on my tinfoil hat, but I do think it's a good theory, and it's okay if you disagree. But what I think happened is that, as I mentioned earlier, the two dragons were enemies. The magic in the mines was sealed in order to seal away Ceridia, the other dragon. The reason for this is maybe that Ceridia was evil, or what I think is probably more likely, since I do think she is going to be the second love interest, is that she was just misunderstood. Now, who did this? I think that it may have actually been Caldarus himself. In trying to either defeat his enemy or protect the world from her, he sealed the magic away to get rid of her. But this act had an unintended consequence that he also became cut off from magic somehow, which led to him becoming dormant in the statue for so long and losing his magic and losing his memories. So now, without his memories, he doesn't remember that it was him who sealed off the magic in the first place, and he doesn't remember why he did it. So yeah, my theory is that the person that made Caldarus lose his memories and his magic is Caldarus himself, and this was an unintended consequence of trying to seal off his enemy and erase her from history, basically. Now, I realize this may be a little bit out there. There is another theory that I like as well, that it was the witches. There is a scene in the game where Juniper reveals that witch speak was rumored to be the language used by humans to speak with dragons, and there's indication that at one point in time, humans and dragons worked together for the betterment of society. Maybe the ancient witches had a conflict with the dragons, or there was like a power grab or something, and thus they sealed both of them away. I like that theory as well, but I personally prefer the Caldarus theory. I think that that would be such a cool twist, and it would provide some really interesting drama once Ceridia is released. I do want to know your theories as well, so put them down in the comments. My plan is to play through Caldarus's content as quickly as I can when the update releases on March 10th. Then I will be making another video where I go back through my theories and see what has been debunked, what was was proven to be true and what we still don't know, and if I have any new theories or anything based on the new content that we have. Thank you so much for watching. I so love talking about lore and theories. If there's any other lore or theory topics related to Fields of Mystria that you're interested in, let me know down in the comments and I will do my best to accommodate. We do still have a lot of question marks because the full story has not been revealed yet because it's in early access, but I will do my best. If you want to watch me stream games like Fields of Mystria, you can check me out here or on Twitch. I live stream on both platforms. You can also join my Discord. We have a Fields of Mystria channel where we gush about Caldarus and other topics related to Fields of Mystria. We help each other out. We discuss the game, so you can join that at the link in my description as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.